You can get it. Marvelous.
Yo, what's good? Welcome back to the channel, y'all. And look. In today's video, we're gonna be going over all the meta budget decks that is going to be viable in the OP08 meta. Yes, you heard me right. The OP08 meta will be hitting the states in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So if you guys want to prepare for your first locals when OP08 does come around, these are the decks that you guys probably want to be taking a look at, or even possibly picking up if you don't feel like spending $200-300 on a meta deck.
Oh hell no!
Okay, these decks I'm gonna be showing you, these are all championship winning decks in the current OP08 meta in the East. So even though you didn't spend $200 or $300 on a deck, you will still be able to compete with those particular decks, such as, you know, the Rob Lucci's, the Geckos, and the Enels and the Bonnies. Okay, so these decks are very viable. They are tournament winning lists I am copying from. So let's go ahead and get straight into it. There's only 2 colors I'm really not going to really talk about in this video. One of them is going to be black because of Sabo. Sabo is a $30 card. For most black decks, you need 4 Sabo, which means if you just get 4 Sabo and nothing else, we're already looking at $120 each. So, you know, we're not going to really talk about black decks too much. And another is purple. Another reason why we're not going to be talking about purple is just for the simple fact that Bond Clay is a $30 card as well. Most mono purple color decks, they run 4 Bond Clay. It's $120, way too much. So purple and black decks going to be off the table. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into it. And this is going to be one of the newer decks that we're going to be talking about. We might as well start it off with some OP08 heat, right? And that has to be Yellow Carera. I feel like this will be the best budget deck, meta deck in the OP08 meta. Fact, not an opinion. When you really just take a gander of everything that's listed, all of these cards are literally cents. Even when OP08 comes out, like Carera right here and Wiper right here, or Nolan, all these cards will probably not be over, you know, $2 to $3, maybe on pre-release, and right when it comes out it might be a little bit higher. But after a week or 2 of the cards releasing, this will be the best budget deck out there if you guys are trying to play on a budget. If you guys don't know what this deck particularly does, and also if you guys know the deck list, it's part, you know, to try it out, here it is. But if you guys don't know what this deck does, this is pretty much like a soft version of RP Law. Okay, if you're a fan of spamming the board, you know, and really just having a whole bunch of presence, this is the deck you really need to be using. His leader ability is broken, and getting out the Norland speeds up the deck, and also cheating out this Carera and with the ace as well. And you also have some removal with Thunderbolt as well. This will be the best competitive meta budget deck in the whole entire OP08 meta. So if there's something you really want to get into, or if you're new to the game and you really like rushing the board like how RP Law was doing, this is a very good substitute, and it will be really cheap on release. So if you guys do want to play something from OP08, this is something you guys might want to get into. Let's go ahead and get straight to the next deck. So this is the next deck we're going to be discussing. Has to be Blue Hancock. A lot of people are asking me, where's the blue at? Where's Blue Hancock Adofi? Usually my list was trying to keep it underneath $100, but it seemed like One Piece, y'all motherfuckers must got some money, because these decks are $140 and they're budget for y'all. So is $140, $150 is good for you guys? I'm gonna show you guys a little bit more decks in this realm. So in this case, we have Blue Hancock, OP07 leaders. Really, you know, it's decent. I don't think, you know, between Dofi and this deck, I really think they're head to head. You know, let's look at some of the cards. Some of the most expensive cards, like for the events, is going to be this Gum Red Rock. Very good board removal. Some of the most best board removals in the game. We have Sengaku. We have the Flamingo. So the thing about this card too is that this will be getting a reprint, but we aren't worrying about reprints in this video. If you do just want to play this deck and not wait, this is what the price is going to be, and I'm probably just going to stay the same. I don't really see it going up too much higher, but cards like this and these 2 Gecko and Flamingo will be getting a reprint. So if it's something that you guys do want to hold off on, you could. But if you guys do want to play right now, we're sitting at for $4. 4 of them for 4 each. It's $28 for 4 each. A Gecko Moria is $32. So you definitely need, you know, 4. The next expensive card is Jinbei. 4 of them, you're $13. That's still not bad. And besides that, the only other, you know, expensive cards just for 4 of them is Boa Hancock and Mihawk. But the real big gist of this deck is this here. Okay, you need 3 Sanjis for $26. Not bad. I have to keep it a stack with you guys. This deck, you can't really go wrong with it. The overall price is $148, $150. So if blue is something that you are interested in, Boa Hancock can definitely take you the whole entire way when it comes to OP08 meta. Boa Hancock does have OP08 tops as well, so you will be competitively viable. Like I said earlier, you just need to pilot it correctly. Let's go ahead and get straight to the next deck. Next deck we have has to be supposedly the best deck of the format, Blue Purple Rage. You see right here, it's $67. With this type of price, you can even add the bond clays for, you know, you need probably 3 of them, so 3 at $30, put at 90. So this, if you add the bond clays into this deck, you're probably looking at $157, but you don't need to play this deck with the bond clays if you guys do not want to run them. When you guys really see the prices, the only thing that's really expensive is this Porsche. For 4 of them, you're looking at $15. For 4 Reijus, you're looking at $20. For 1 Queen, you're looking at $14. I saw in the comments in my last budget, you know, tier list type of video that Queen, some people don't even run Queen. I feel like that may be wrong. You could possibly run 3 or 4 Queen. Queen's very, very strong, one of the best purple blockers in the game. And the other cards that is kind of expensive is this Sanji right here, 2 of them for $10. Deck's only $67. So if you guys do want to pick up the bond clays, and if you guys do want to pick up the queens, you could be sitting right underneath 140, 150, and you pretty much going to have everything for the next format, since it's going to be RP lawless. Okay, so rushes the board, dom manipulation, and you also get to run the Charlotte Pudding, one of the most cracked blue cards in the game. Very, very strong deck. And yeah, man, very good option as well when it comes to OP08 meta. Let's go ahead and get straight to the next deck. So the next deck we have is Yellow Katakuri. So before we even start, this particular deck will be getting an upgrade in the structure deck when it comes to 8.5 in the meta for OP08. But prior to that, if this is something you guys do want to, you know, look into, I suggest possibly picking up these cards now. When the structure decks do come out with Yellow Katakuri, this deck does get a huge buff. Very, very decent deck. You guys look on the screen. The only other cards that's really expensive is this Flampy. Flampy has actually gone up for $24. I remember this card used to be $3. So I honestly don't even know when this is possibly getting reprinted. I don't even think this is getting reprinted in the whole entire reprint set. Maybe it is, I'm not really too sure, but this price for this Flampy card keeps on going up. If you are a Yellow fan, I suggest you pick up these Flampies now. We got 4 pair of Sparrows for $11, not bad. We have 4 Gangbangs for $7, and then the only other cards that's really expensive here in this deck that makes up the $140 mark are these Charlotte Lindlands. You're gonna need to run the 7 drop and also the 10 drop. You cannot play the decks without them. And when you actually really take a gander at this deck, there is actually no Katakuri as well. You do not need the 8 drop Katakuri, which is why this price is still kind of low. And honestly, this deck is showing up in the OP08 meta currently in the East. So if this is something you guys are interested in, and you guys do like yellow with a, you know, yellow gang or die, you know, that's the movement I'm on. That's the type of shit I'm on. You get what I'm saying? Not a bad deck to pick up if you guys are not trying to play or spend all that money on a nail. Let's go ahead and get straight into the next deck, man. Next deck we have is Red Zoro. Red Zoro's been gaining popularity out of nowhere, even in the OP08 East meta. There's been a ton of tops with this Zoro, and when it comes to all the support that is going to be released, look, Zoro just gets a huge boost. This is something you guys are probably need to look into. This is a really decent deck. We're looking at $118 right now, which is really not that bad, especially since with all the new Zoro. I wouldn't even say Zoro, it's really animal pirate type of support, but it really helps Zoro the most, like with the choppers and everything. It's getting a whole bunch of support, and it's just something that you really just can't sleep on, you know what I mean? We're looking at 4 Radical Beams for $7, 2 Jambays for $6, and then the only other price that's really expensive on this list is the Marcos. These Marcos keep getting bought out and then, you know, reestablished, bought out, reestablished. But you're gonna have to need this. Look, you need a good red blocker in the deck, and this is exactly that's because you play so many damn good events. You can't go wrong with this deck. This is the most expensive card in the deck, are these Marcos. But I'm telling you, if you guys do want to play red and you don't feel like breaking the bank, this might be the red deck for you. This is showing a whole crazy amount of tops in the OP08 East meta, and with all the support it's getting for OP08, you know, Zoro's definitely, I feel like it might be the best red deck, to be honest with you guys. I feel like it's even etching a little bit further away from Whitebeard. So if this is something you're really interested in when it comes to red decks, Zoro, can't go wrong with it. It's only $120, gang. Let's get it. Next deck we have right here is green yellow Yamato. So this deck is extremely cheap right now. We're looking at $54, which is actually fucking pennies, okay? Instead of buying the new Call of Duty, just go ahead and buy this deck, okay? When you really look on the screen, the only thing that's really going to price you out is the Izzo. You're looking at $4 for $9, which isn't really that expensive. And also the 4 Portia D Aces at $25 for 4 of them. And the Hootie Jones, you get 4 of them for $11. Did not mean to do that. Let's go ahead and go back. But when you really just take a gander at this list, $54 for a competitive meta deck in the OP08 meta, it's crazy, crazy, crazy. And you also get some support in the OP08 meta when it comes to yellow and green side as well. Yamato, can't go wrong. It's having some tournament tops recently as well in OP07 and OP08. And if you like the rush down and you guys really like using rest and really getting some you know, advantage in searching, and also with the triggers off of Onami with Shura as well, this is something you guys probably might be interested in. But $54 can't go wrong for the OP08 meta, gang. So the last 2 decks we're going to be going over is over $150, but like I said earlier in my tier list, in my last meta, you know, budget type of video, a lot of people are asking, where's this, where's Blue Dofi, and where's something else? I might as well show you guys. Some Blue Dofi is actually not even that more expensive than Boa. Boa is at $140. If you guys do want to play the better blue deck, you might as well spend the extra $27 and just get this deck. We're looking at Flamingo. So what's actually driving the price up for this deck? Well, for starters, we have the 2 Gum Gum Rocks, we're at $5. We have the 4 Perona for $7. We have the 4 Flamingo. We have the 4 Geckos. So these are all the same. Only thing that's added is the Perona. And then the only thing after that is the 4 Jinbei. That's what's driving up the price, the 4 Jinbei. We are still running the 2 Sanji. We're running 2 Kaido to reshuffle your hand. And to be honest with you guys, if you guys do want to play a good blue deck and you guys were even looking at Boa in the beginning, you might as well spend the extra $27 to get this deck, because in the long haul, especially after the starter decks coming out, this will be the better blue deck by a mile, okay? Especially when the starter decks come out in the 8.5 meta. So yeah, y'all, that's all I really got for this blue Flamingo. A lot of people are asking, where is this deck? Because it is relatively cheap, and here it is. We're looking at $160 right now. Definitely pick it up if you don't have a deck and you do like to have a whole bunch of board control and really just swarm the field with some of the best removal in the game when it comes to Gum Gum, Red Rock, and also Gravity Blade. These are probably the 2 best board removals in the game, so you can't really go wrong with Flamingo, especially since we'll be getting a buff when the starter decks do come out. Okay, 167, can't go wrong. Let's go ahead and get straight to our last deck for this video. So the last deck that we do have to showcase is the Red Whitebeard. Before we actually even continue, I need to tell you about this Red Whitebeard, because if you do plan on playing OP09 with the broken card, red cards, mainly Gold D Roger, you might as well just go ahead and pick up this Red Whitebeard deck right now and play with it for the next 3 months. Because if you wait until OP09 comes out to get this deck, I guarantee you it's not going to be $174, because so much hype's going to be around that Gold D Roger card that a lot of these cards might even shoot up. What is really driving up this deck's price? Well, for starters, is this Marco. Like I said earlier, this Marco, the driving price of this card, it keeps getting bought out and then resold, rebought out and sold. So, and also the Marco leader is going to be coming out. So right now is an expensive time to pick up these Marcos, just because the Marco deck is coming out. But like I said earlier, if this is a deck that you want to invest in for the long haul, this is not a bad pickup. Another reason why this deck is kind of expensive is because of the Edward Newgate. We need 3 of them, and it's at $42. You're gonna have a blast, because not only you're gonna have one of the best decks in the format, but you only spent $174 on it. Okay, hey, that's all I got for all the best meta budget decks for the OP08 meta. If you guys have any more budget OP08 meta decks in mind that's underneath $150, let me know below. Let the community know, so you know people have more choices to choose from. Okay, maybe I missed something. I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, no one's perfect. But with that said, just let me know below if I missed something. But yeah, y'all, that's all I got. But before I go, if you was feeling the vibes, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It all gone.